By kayak or canoe, the African American Heritage Water Trail is encouraging people to reflect on history from a different perspective.
WGN's Gaynor Hall has tonight's cover story.
Ronald Gaines is a retired Chicago police sergeant. His entire family is in law enforcement.
This is Chicago's finest marina.
He started boating back in the 80s.
It's a serene feeling just going down, especially down the river system here.
Spending a lot of time at this property that was built decades earlier for black boaters who weren't welcome at other marinas. It's nestled along the Little Calumet River near 134th Place and St. Lawrence on the far southern edge of the city.
When you look around here, you can see it's like an oasis in the city. A lot of people come out here and they're saying, are we still in Chicago? It was a place that we kind of levitated to as black boaters. It kind of got me interested in the boating arena, so to speak. And I never would think by the time I retired I would be owning the place, but it came available once I reached retirement as well.
Chicago's finest remains the only black-owned marina in the city, and this land harbors an historic story that Gaines knew nothing about.
I would say around 5 years ago, I received a phone call from a gentleman, and he's asking me, Mr. Gaines, you own the property at the location? And you get kind of leery.
The caller was a historian, part of a group digging into the area's past.
We were just a ragtag group of historians that were coming together saying, wow, look what we have, and it's right under our noses. Who knew?
What their research revealed, hundreds of black people crossed the river at the nearby Dalton Ferry and Bridge, fleeing enslavement, seeking freedom. Chicago's finest marina sits on land that was once a stop on the Underground Railroad.
Come to find out that this property that we're at right now was owned by Ton. He was a Dutch settler.
One of the reasons why they left Holland was because of persecution over in Europe, religious persecution. This river didn't resemble this at all back then.
Tom Shepard is a coordinator with the Little Calumet River Underground Railroad Project.
I mean, maybe they didn't call themselves abolitionists then, but that's what they were actually doing by assisting freedom seekers, sometimes secreting them away, hiding them in their homes or their wagons to transport them.
The history of the Ton Farm is one of the highlights of the African American Heritage Water Trail.
I'm learning bits and parts of history with Chicago and like parts of my culture, which is amazing.
Fred Williams works with Chicago Adventure Therapy. The paddle sport instructor helped to train youth guides for the trail. The conservation nonprofit Open Lands partners with several organizations to host guided tour events and also developed a brochure to guide independent, experienced paddlers on the 7-mile route from Beaubien Woods to Robbins.
So the African American Heritage Water Trail, it uncovers at least 180 years worth of history. So it ranges from the Underground Railroad to the Civil Rights Movement to the birth of the environmental justice movement.
Lillian Holden is Open Lands Education Outreach Coordinator. She was a part of the team that did research for the project. Sites visible from the river also include the Major Taylor Trail Bridge, honoring the cycling legend, and Altgeld Gardens, a public housing development built on contaminated land. Other sites, like the Robbins History Museum, take you inland.
It's really to bridge inequities and to bring people in the water so they can be advocates for nature.
This opened up so many doors for me and like looking at nature, being a part of nature.
Williams first connected with Chicago Adventure Therapy when he was experiencing homelessness and living in a shelter.
They just changed my outlook on the city, like my thoughts and my accessibility around what I can do as a black youth in the city.
He wants to make the outdoor sporting world more inclusive, and he's aware of how the past flows through him.
I feel like I do deal with a lot of generational curses, is what we call them, from slavery. And those are like the abuse, those things that kind of stuck with our psyche and that damaged us and traumatized us as a community. And that's why this trail was like so big for me, because like I get to see the evolution of it all, the fight and the progress of humanity.
It gives me goosebumps. It gives me chills. I do connect with the Black American experience. And so for me to be able to be a part of exposing people to the larger picture, it feels fruitful.
In 2019, the Ton Farm site was designated as a location on the National Underground Railroad Network to Freedom.
I just find it so fascinating.
The original site was 40 acres, and the family's farmhouse is no longer standing.
Some were documented, many coming from Missouri.
Shepard says freedom seekers who passed through here fanned out to Chicago, Michigan, and Canada. And his group is working to spread the word about the historical significance of the area, to educate, enlighten, and empower.
It's the piece of a bigger picture, and we have to try to understand what brought people to work together, abolitionists and freedom seekers. We have to try to learn how it came about, the emancipation of black folks in the United States. It's just a piece of history that's largely ignored.
When we come out here sometime and we sit and enjoy the ambiance of the land itself, we also wonder how many people who didn't make it.
Gaines wants to expand and enhance his property.
We're really trying to develop it to the point where we can share it with the community.
And a permanent sign will soon be installed at the marina, a tribute to the people who sought refuge here and those who helped them along the journey to freedom. Gaynor Hall, WGN News.
The history uncovered. And tomorrow on the WGN News at 9, we're going to take a closer look at another highlight of the African American Heritage Water Trail.
Major Taylor Trail Bridge honors a barrier-breaking black cyclist. WGN's Gaynor Hall introduces you to cycling enthusiast in Chicago working to keep his legacy alive. That's tomorrow right here on the WGN News at 9.